Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world's famous juggler, Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
Doing well. How about yourself, Ozzy?
I'm all right. I'm all right. By the time this is out, we would have been a few weeks, I think 3 weeks into the football season. So we are recording this on August 25th. So I don't know how the Raiders are doing, but I
They
know that.
suck.
Yeah, I knew you. I was gonna just say that. I know that Greg and Todd will tell you it doesn't matter. They can predict the future, and we'll say that they're 0-3 at this time. Is that something that you guys are gonna commit to?
No, they just tied the 49ers in a preseason. I mean, it's preseason, but
Our background music when we talk about sports now.
Excuse me.
It's our background music when we talk about sports.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Okay. We aren't talking about sports today. Also with us, ladies and gentlemen, Flesh and Producer Todd, chilling, presume.
Chilling.
Always in a better mood whenever he hears that song. This
Hey,
week we
so
are
it's Pepper.
reviewing. This week we are reviewing and discussing Grumpy Old Men, the film, not the actual Grumpy Old Men title about a bunch of Republicans, but rated PG-13, released on December 25th, 1993, with a runtime of 103 minutes. Todd, do you have a trailer available?
I do. And it's ready.
You think you can take me? Come on.
Let's see.
All right, 1937, at Todd Field,
Oh,
and the
for
ball, I
God's
kicked
sake.
your ass
Yeah,
after
wait,
football
wait.
practice
You
when
kicked
you
my
stole
ass.
my liniment.
You kicked my
Jack
ass.
Lemmon and Walter Matthau.
Believe me, this man is a menace. He's always drinking, starting fights. Isn't that right?
They're both grumpy old men.
Why don't you do the world a favor and pull your lip over your head and swallow?
Idiot.
Eat my shorts.
So,
So what?
But after 50 years
what?
of fighting over nothing,
What?
What?
So?
What?
they finally found something. Holy.
Oh my God.
Moly. Worth fighting for.
See, women get obsessed with me. It's like one of them fatal attraction things.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Jack Lemmon
Your cat crapped on my steps again.
Yeah, who says you can't train a cat?
Why would a woman come over at 1:30 in the morning to see you?
Just why do you think, bonehead?
Oh, my God.
Ann-Margret,
John, when was the last time you made love?
October 4th, 1978.
grumpy old men.
If I knew there was a nude scene in this picture, I would have asked for another million.
That was the trailer for Grumpy Old Men, again rated PG-13, released on December 25th, 1993, with a runtime of 103 minutes. Written by Mark Steven Johnson, directed by Donald Petrie, starring Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, Ann-Margret, and Burgess Meredith as well. Initial thoughts on this? I remember seeing this actually very, very young. I, at an early age, was very entertained by the trailer. So when I first had the chance to see this, I think it was on HBO a couple of years later. I really enjoyed the banter back and forth. Now, with the rewatch, there was a bit of a lull in the middle.
Mhm.
And it was heavy on the story, which was great. If you were to go to the IMDb profile of this film, it would classify as a comedy, buddy comedy, but also falls into the drama category as well, because there was a lot of seriousness that
Mhm.
took place. However, I think at the end of the film, there were some outtakes that were added in and additional lines that I think were meant to have the audience walking away a little bit not that you just is to make the audience still remember you still saw a funny movie instead of just a feel good, mild Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It's a winter movie.
A winter
Christmas.
movie. Right.
Yeah.
How interesting that, we're like Die Hard Christmas movie, but let's specify this is just winter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair. It's
I don't see
fair.
what the problem is.
It's fair. No, I sided with you.
This one's not trying to shove Christianity down your throat like that Die Hard picture.
Can we relax, please?
I remember I don't remember the last time I've seen this movie, and I think I may have only seen it once at this point, and it was shortly after it came out, and I watched it with my grandfather, and I remember one of those when you're watching a movie with someone who's really enjoying it, it makes it that much better, and I think that's why I was really excited to revisit this, and especially when it's a movie that you watched at a younger age. I was very curious. How many jokes did I miss? And there were definitely a few. So I was really happy to rewatch this, and it is a little heavy on the drama side of it, but it was peppered well with some good comedy.
Yeah, older I get, the more I relate to them. We're not
Right.
we're not like falling down related to him yet. But and by the way, Ozzy's definitely a max, like 100%. It's like not even a question.
That is so rude.
Are you disagreeing with me?
Close to home, or
anyway? Curious if that means I get to call you guys dickweeds.
Why not?
So, while I did mention earlier, this did delve into the path of being somewhat dramatic. It didn't take away from the quality of the movie. It's just part of the story that it was trying to tell. Where the story did include a lot of humor in it, there's some things that would naturally need to pan out in the way it did. So, it had a lot of heart. It is a winter movie.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas is prominent throughout it, but I'll go as far as saying it's a winter movie. But going into I'm going to say this. I think if you were to look back, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel the outtakes were the funniest part of the movie. Like at the end, not outtakes, but additional lines that were not used in the movie and was just them. Sometimes some of them having fun. So you guys can say a funny scene from the movie, or you can pick out a particular scene from the end credits outtake reel. Because when I saw Walter Matthau pretend to be Ronald Reagan,
oh yeah,
I couldn't stop laughing, and I was out of breath just because the way you see him throughout the movie, and these guys are such good actors that you forget you're watching the actors and you kind of just get invested in their characters.
Mm-hmm.
So immediately after, to see him try to pull off a Reagan, it was just humorous to see. It was great to see.
Obviously, since I've seen the movie before, it's not the first time I've heard these lines. But as I mentioned, I didn't necessarily understand the lines. So that's why I'm going to say it was the first time truly hearing this line. So I really appreciated hearing, looks like Chuck is taking old One Eye to the optometrist. I lost it. It was just like, that's so clever. So well played. Because obviously I didn't get it as a kid. But yeah, fantastic.
They must have had just a ton of fun, just recording these. So we just got some time to kill. Let's see just what lines you got. We might use them, we might not. And man, absolutely. Todd?
I'm not going to be the one who pulled a cop out and just said the outtakes at the end.
I didn't say the out. I listed one specifically, so that counts. All right.
I was just giving you a little bit before I went ahead and said all the Burgess Meredith outtakes are gold. Like
Yes.
all of his different euphemisms are great.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
That'd be my pick. I do have a line from the actual film too, and
Uh-huh.
it's just a simple line. It's a classic. I've laid more pipe in this town than Washaba Plumbing. When Walter Matthau just dropped it, I couldn't help but laugh out loud for that. 72-year-old man dropping it. I had to look up their ages to see how close I was because I was getting worried. So I was like, okay, 68 and 72. I don't feel old enough yet. Good.
So getting into the ratings of this, well, just a quick shout out just to the one person you see that of what's told in this story, the one person that you care absolutely nothing about, that you want to see nothing of. You just, oh man, I hate that this guy's this character that's getting in the middle of some sort of love triangle was seeing Christopher McDonald show up from the car. As soon as he shows up, it's like, oh, of course, he's perfect for this spot.
Yeah. We need a classic
Hilarious.
90s dickhead now. Quick, who we got?
Somebody get Christopher McDonald on the phone. Now, while the dramatic moments kind of took a break from the comedy, it still didn't deter from the quality. So I know earlier that towards the inception of this podcast, we talked about films being, I would rate this as a comedy, but as a movie, it would be rated this. This would kind of fall into that category, or as a comedy, I'd probably rate it as a 3, but as just an overall general movie, I'd rate it a 4.
Yeah. I think the pacing, I'd agree with you when it comes to the comedy. The comedy's solid when it's there. It's just not throughout. But I think because it just has some great heart to it. I also have some fond memories, and I can still hear my grandfather's laugh during some of those moments. Nostalgia purposes, I'm still giving this 4.5. I had just a lot of fun with this film.
And Todd?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue. This is a fun film. It's funny. I was like not really looking forward. I was like, all right, I saved this one for last. But I had a really good time with it. And I forget how much I do like this one. So I'm a 4 on this. I wasn't sure going in. I didn't know if it was still going to work, but it did for me. So
excellent.
I was happy. I'm actually looking forward to the second one, which maybe we'll do towards Christmas. So
maybe.
I'm only calling this a winter movie because we probably should have done it in December. But whatever.
I will say that I am somewhat looking forward to the sequel, because usually when sequels are made from a movie that has like this kind of dramatic aspect to it, the sequel tends to just lean in on mostly a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing Grumpier Old Men once on HBO and enjoying myself. And I think a lot of what I saw in the second movie got integrated in my mind as being part of the first.
Could be.
So, unfortunately, at this time, as of August 25th, this film is not available to stream anywhere. However, of course, is available for purchase or for rental wherever you consume your favorite digital content. If you're a fan of the duo of Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, and you haven't seen it, that would be really shocking. But if by chance you are a fan of the two and have not seen it, I'd probably venture that it would be worth a purchase if you are a fan of the two and are familiar with their work as The Odd Couple. But definitely worth checking out. And also something worth checking out is trivia happening this week. Every Monday at the Rush Bar and Grill in Lake Forest at 6:30, Tuesday at the Brewery in Placentia at 7 o'clock, and every Wednesday at Griffin's Grill in Los Alamitos at 7:30. Do you guys have any announcements? Anything special going on?
No, but kudos to anyone who goes and names themselves Team Asterix.
So I
That's
wonder.
not funny.
I wonder if by
It's
now
not
me
funny.
and Dan will have come and visited you with trivia, because he should be in town right around this time this is airing. He might be here right now.
I will say,
Ozzy's like also not funny.
I gave him a warning this time, so we're not going to surprise him.
so here's the tricky part. Is as we've previously, as it's been established right here, the joke about Roman Reigns and all that sort of stuff and me being angered whenever that joke is made, whatever. However, at the same time, my girlfriend saw Roman Reigns say "acknowledge me" on the TV, and she's like, "Oh, it's so arrogant. Why would he say that?" It's like because he's trying to get hated. It's like, yeah, but it's just so annoying. Like, just makes me hate him. Like, yeah, that's the point.
I know.
Like, yeah, but if you ever said that, I'd be like, I'd get mad. I'm like, oh man, I have a conundrum because I don't want to say it because I have Greg and Todd in my head laughing every time I say it. But at the same time, to see the look on her face after I put a finger in the air and say that is
Yeah,
really, really funny.
might be worth the couch.
Might be worth a couch night. After Star Wars Outlaws comes out, we are recording this
you're
on
gonna
the
time it out.
25th, so I'll time it out. Get some video game time. Hey, by the way, all right, ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude our episode of Grumpy Old Men. Feel free to check us out. And coming up soon next month, we do have a bunch of horror comedies planned out for the month of Halloween, don't we, Todd?
We do.
That is coming
Exciting.
up very soon. We are few weeks away from the month of October, so we'll see some of that, including, are we going to have a Flesh Wound Fist entry?
We talked about that last week. It's gonna come in right at the end. It's kind of a border title. So
No, I'm talking about the movie.
what? What? I got confused. So I don't even.
But we
Yeah,
do
it's
have
okay.
Medea's Halloween coming up.
And now we do.
Do we have a Patreon vote on particular Halloween movies, or do we already have a slate that's already been chosen?
We've already talked about this. Awesome.
I can't remember.
I know we have like the whole month booked out.
Okay, we have the entire month of October set out. So be sure you're subscribing and checking us out. We're going to be back next week with a new episode. So feel free to keep checking us out. Greg or Todd, do you have anything else before you head out for the evening? Okay.
That's it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for world famous juggler Greg Larson and Flesh Wound producer Todd, I'm Ozzy V, and we'll see you next week right here on a brand new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.
There you go.